Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are here with IDM Season 3, Week 1. Yeah, starting our road to a three-peat, hopefully. We won last season and Season 1, both on the backs of Magierna. This season I drafted Agi Slash, but as you see, it doesn't come to this match because my opponent this week, BeML, he has like lots of checks and like what's called counters to counters to Aegis Slash, like the Mandibus, the potential Silvally Dark. As Cavalier checks it decently well. Can SD up on it for free pretty much. He has a Charizard X which didn't come, which I kind of get behind, but also was kind of surprising. But I feel like when I have Azu, Carbink, Garchomp, and Lex, Zardex isn't really a bring here. So the team I built. My opponent doesn't have a normal immunity and only one resist in the Escavalier. I brought Sleep Talk, Curse, Return, Lex, not to get killed by any non-outrage move from Zadex, choose hits from Thundy, choose hits from Shaman. At +1, ban the Diggersby can't to KO me. And like at +1 or +2, I pretty much bob everything on my opponent's team. Like obviously he can have like a taunt, toxic Mandibus or whirlwind Mandibus, but this thing is shipped down fairly easily with the squad that I brought, so I'm not too concerned about that. I got a nice Z Garchomp, SD, Z Outrage, Earthquake, and Substitute. Substitute is here to like capitalize on some sacks you might want to make, like a chip down mon that can come in if I set up an SD on, for example, like the Escavalier, on the Silvally if it doesn't run Ice Beam, on the Mandibus if it lacks Foul Play. Like if he wants to like preserve a mon that's at full, scouting for the Z move and sacks a mon, I can just click sub and put myself in a very advantageous position. Carbink here is max physically defensive for Charizard X mainly. It's my best check to it, or best switch into it besides Azu, and I didn't really want to run wanted to run Azu defensively this week, especially because he can just as well run Thunder Punch, so it was kind of an unset versus him. It's like defensive Azu. But Carbink here, Toxic Protect, lefties with Stealth Rock and Power Gem. Power Gem pretty much hits his entire team for decent damage beside Diggs, but my entire team actually has his ass eaten by Diggersby, so I gotta play very mindfully around that. But with my two banded priority users here, I have a like very solid chance of checking it. Weaver do a quad step pretty much, Ice Shot, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, and Pursuit. Pursuit very nice versus him. I can Pursuit Trap Diggersby potentially, I can Pursuit Trap Thunderous. Depending on what kind of Silvally it is, I can Pursuit Trap that. I can even like Pursuit Trap an offensive Shaman if I want to. So that's pretty clean. Like I won't be concerned, like not concerned, but I won't be hesitant to click Pursuit in front of a threat like those in order to get the necessary chip off for Garchomp, for example, to sweep or something. Azu, Aqua Jet, Play Rough, Liquidation, and Perish Song. Perish Song just in case I have to face like last mon, like Common Slowbro or something like this has on this team, or like just a mon that I can't really 1v1 with any of my mons, so I can just like Perish Song it, switch around to guarantee the win. I just didn't need any coverage move on Azu, and I didn't want to run Knockoff to catch potentially Slowbro on the switching because that would weaken Weavile's Knockoff on pretty much any mon, so I didn't feel like running Knock. And the star of the show pretty much is Zapdos, especially versus this matchup, it just goes in. It's a sub-roost set with Discharge and Heat Wave. Doesn't have it sub-broken by attacks like from like uninvested Shaman, from Mandibus, potentially from Silvally, depending on its set. Like uninvested multi-attack, unless it's super effective, is like a roll to break my sub, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I can always set up a sub on shit like Escavalier because that doesn't want to stay in. Same with Shaman. But anyway, I think we should hop right into this. Looking at my opponent's team, likely leads are like Diggersby, Silvally, maybe Mandibus with U-turn, or Thunderous. I don't expect him to lead off with Escavalier or Shaman, because like Shaman would just put him in a terrible spot if I lead with Zapdos. If I lead with Lex, it gives me a free +1. If I lead with Weavile, or if I lead with Weavile, he is forced to switch out and take a crash. So I'm like, yeah, Weaver makes for a nice lead, and my opponent decides to lead off with Thunderous. So I'm Adamant, and I only speed creep among the creeps guard jump. So like it's kind of a tough spot. I probably should have made this Jolly, but I couldn't be fucked because like Adamant rolls are so clean versus my opponent's team. And like Adamant knockoff, if he just creeps guard jump, I'll speed an Adamant knockoff Oko's Thunderous as a roll to Oko, as well as Adamant Icicle Crash. That also Oko's through the Yachi berry. So or like it's a roll. I think it does like 190, 193 to 210 or something crazy without the Yachi. So it's like a 94%, not 94%, but 94 to 105 or something with the Yachi. So pretty much my roll. And I know that Pursuit would do would like be a roll to Oko depending on like his investment, but it does at least 90 if he switches out. And I'm like, yeah, Thunderous is a threat. I don't really have a switch because I can't go hard guard shop on a Thunderous because reasons obviously because HP ice is a thing. So I decide, yeah, let me click Pursuit here. If he stays in and I click Icicle Crash and Knockoff, he's pretty much a dead Thundy, but he actually makes a play and decides to stay in. In my opinion, like not a good play. I do 47 as you see, and he clicks T-ball, and now I'm like, yeah, what do I do? Do I switch out into something? Do I click Pursuit again? I really wanted to click Pursuit again because this thing is a threat, but I felt like, yeah, Weaver could still be nice to to chip down Shaman and Mandibus, and I felt like I don't need help on Weaver because it's very unlikely that he's gonna click rocks with Diggersby if he has it at all, because like Diggersby wants to spam attacks with my team because it eats my ass pretty much if it's like Life of Adamant or something. So I decide like I preserve Weaver and I go hard into my carving arm, choose any 2 hits because he reveals to not be Life of a boosting item, which is really really nice. Not really a big threat there, Thunderous, so it's clean. He also does Cavalier. Ironhead is a play, but I also know that he pretty much has to cover a Zapdos switcher because like if he gets static, that could be annoying. Or if I like just get a free Zapdos, his team doesn't deal with that too well. So I decide, yeah, let me just get up my rocks and he pulls a double switch out into Shaman. Shaman doesn't really cover the Zapdos switch, but at least it's an electric immunity, right? So I go into Zapdos here, knowing that the leech is coming. I don't really care. Because I got Roost, obviously I got lefties. I just want to see what kind of set it is. Looks like max HP, but mostly Fizz Def. Maybe just a slight bit of Speed Def here to like to check some hits from a special mons, but this definitely looks like a physically defensive Shaman, and like I will go for what heat with as a seed flip 17, which means he's uninvested, which is pretty nice. His left is 2, so he gets a lot of HP back. I'm gonna switch out into legs, even if he leeches again. I'm just going to double back out into my Zapdos, and I don't need that many HP on legs because you know it like rests up on pretty much everything on the squad, so no worries about no worries there. Goes into Savali here and defogs my rocks away, so I get up a sub. I can just roost here on the next turn. Not sure if multi-attack breaks my sub or not. He goes for it, and it actually does break my sub, so not the end of the world, but kind of annoying. I go for sub again, predicting him to go for the parting shot, and like just puts me in a spot where I can just fire off attacks. He goes into Thundy, and I know I still 2 KO with this charge here from the range I'm at and from the range he's at, and he goes for T-ball to break my sub. Doesn't really matter. I can switch out here into my carving, I think. I see him makes it down into Diggersby, and I'm like, yeah, shit. Now this thing is in, but I know I have my sturdy. I know I want like, I know I can revenge it with Azu or Weaver, and I want my rocks up to pressure him into defogging or to pressure Thunderous from coming in and shit like that. Go for Protect again. He goes for Earthquake. He didn't reveal like a boosting item. 85% looks like either a high Jolly roll or a low Adamant roll. And I think like, yeah, maybe this is a Scarf Dix, so let me scout for that and go into Zapdos on the next EQ. As he actually goes for it, and now he's I'm just taking Heat Wave. I want to get some chip damage off on this. As he switches out, so I'm like, yeah, this no, I go for the sub, yeah, because like I want to see if he is locked in, he switches out and I get a free sub. So and now he goes into this. I discharge hoping for the para, but he gets the defog off. Not the end of the world. I can just discharge again for free, and put him low so he can't switch into rocks at all anymore. Just for multi-attack, I think I go for the heat. No, go for another sub here, forcing him to want to preserve this thing so it can't come in on carding and spam defog with me or something. Goes back into digs, I do 32. Mm. Definitely looks like a invested digger speed, and like he might as well be like a bulky scarf set or something. But I'm really not sure what kind of digs it is, but it doesn't really matter to me. I stack my carbon here knowing that it's too low to get up rocks on anything because it doesn't outspeed anything but the Cavalier. He probably would just go hard into Silvali and probably try to revenge me or something, but or just spam defog versus me. So yeah, I go into Azu, and I think I pull a double switch into Zapdos, predicting him to want to preserve his digs because it puts in so much pressure versus my team, and I pull a double into Zapdos here, which gives me a free substitute. I know this is slow, bulky Shaman, so I just go for the sub, and he sacks off his Silvally here to the to the discharge, which is really nice. This thing is like going in now. He goes into Digger Speed, which is his only play. I go for the Heat Wave. It's a roll to 2 KO. I do like up to 38 with my investment to Digger Speed. We looked at it after the match, but I burn him here actually, which is really annoying for him. But it was a very likely 2 KO anyway, and I could have just like gone hard into Azu here to like revenge kill that thing. So I was never like sacking off my Zapdos to the Digger Speed, even if I could have gone for the roll. But yeah, he goes for the quick attack here on his next one, which is kind of surprising because had I gone for the sub, they would have been in a bad spot. But yeah, works out for him. I can go for another sub here on the Shaman, and now like Zapdos will go in. He can't break my sub, obviously, with the Seed Flare. A Heat Wave misses. He actually just also misses misses the Seed Flare, which sucks way more for him because Seed Flare only has 8 PP, and I think he's down to his last Seed Flare because of pressure, and now he's like completely out of there. Looks like his last move is probably Earth Power and like maybe Synthesis or Aromatherapy or something. I can just go for the Heat Wave as he goes into Mandibus. Go for the discharge, and as I get to para, which doesn't matter, he's sacking this Mandibus off. If Pablo breaks my sub, during the match I forgot that I took one Seed Flare on the sub, which does like 17%, and that's the only reason why Foulplay broke my sub. I couldn't be fucked calking, so I didn't set up another sub here, which is pretty bad play because Zapdos otherwise would have just would have just swept the rest of his team, but I decided to just go for the kill here. And like he gets a toxic off on me, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. I'm still winning this game here, unless something goes completely crazy. I go for the sub to prevent a leech before I go to switch hard into Weaver, because I know like if he goes for the Earth Power here and he's uninvested, I know I live any hit, so I can go hard Weaver and just click Knockoff to get rid of his lefties and put him in range for pretty much everything. And if he switches out into this thing, I can just pretty much go hard Chomp, which I will try to do. I knock off this Orca Baron. This like definitely physically defensive as Cavalier. Like it definitely has like his impish and has like at least 100 EVs. And I wasn't trying to go for the roll here. I want to preserve the 5-0 and just go hard into Chomp, but actually clicks Pursuit here to get a nice kill on Weaver. It doesn't really matter. Now I can go into Chomp, click the Sword Stance on the switch into Shaman, and yeah, bob this thing with the Z Outrage, Devastating Drake. Um, Shaman goes down now. Obviously, I bob as Cavalier with the Earthquake at +2, and this is our week 1. Nice start to the match. Nice bulky offensive team that definitely put in the work. So good game to BeML. I think like I definitely had the matchup, and he was kind of overwhelmed by Zapdos. I felt like he underprepped a little bit for it, and he probably like should have brought like a speedy band or speedy life of Digger Speed to really fuck me up. Maybe with like Tailwind support or something that could have been really a big threat to my team. But depending on if he makes playoffs, we might play again. So I don't want to talk too much about that. But overall, I'm very happy with my performance. Definitely felt like I felt like I was in the driver's seat for most of the game, so that's pretty clean. But yeah, I think his biggest fee was partial berry. I think he told me afterwards for like Azu Jets, but like I was surprised he brought that. But anyway, worked out for me just fine, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this match week 1. Next week I'm playing my boy I'm Pledge and his Shamrock Snovas. He has like a stupid team with Greninja and Mega Gallade and shit like that. That should be a fun one. I played him a couple times already in this league, and both matches or all 3 matches were pretty close. So that should be a hype one. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and comment if you did, and I catch you in the next video. See ya.